So welcome to today's session on BTC USDT. I just called it study session on BTC USD, whereby we will just be carrying out an analysis on BTC USD with whatsoever thing we have talked about for a long time now. So this is BTC USDT rather. So this is BTC USDT. I think the last time I had what was it called, a session here, it was still on BTC USD. I can't really recall if it was here I was actually using some graphical examples to teach, or maybe some other people. But tonight we are going to be analyzing Bitcoin, and we'll see what have happened on Bitcoin so far. We'll be applying concept of demand and supply, whatever thing and anything at all that we've talked about on SafuLane. Now, first things first, remember we talked about order blocks, we talked about demand and supply, we talked about several things. We've talked about several things here. But currently, if you want to start from whatever thing we've talked about, we talked about market structure, right? Market structure. But presently, if you should check the current trend on BTC, you would actually notice that BTC is what is bullish at the moment, right? It's very, very bullish. And in as much as it's bullish, it has created a series of what? Higher highs and lows. At this point, we have higher lows, highs, higher lows, higher high, lows, and higher highs, right? And a lot of people have been looking at BTC saying, okay, they want BTC to come back to at least 30k, 33k, whatever k, or any predictions we've been seeing out there. But as for me, I saw that BTC is moving in an upward trend, and the rally is very, very strong. And it's not just technicals, it's fundamentals that is actually putting the price of BTC to the upside. Now, looking at this, how can we analyze BTC? First things first, we can see that we have the all-time high of BTC at 65k, which was around 2021, 68k, and currently we are at 46k, and BTC is trying to clear the previous high that has been created. Now, what you have to do first is to check, okay, is price bullish or bearish? You can see that price is actually bullish, right? Now we move to the daily time frame and see what is actually happening. Now, checking the daily time frame, you would see that the price action is still what? Very bullish. Price action on Bitcoin is very bullish. Then you'll be confused. Others might even be very, very confused that how can they analyze BTC, because some people won't be able to read whatsoever structure that is here. But looking at it from my perspective and everything that I have actually showed here on SafuLane, we can agree that Bitcoin is what is bullish, because looking at this, we have what? An higher high, an higher low. We have a new higher high created. We have the low created, and we have the new high, right? So starting from there, what should we do? Now, you would identify the break of structure at this point, right? You identify the break of structure here. You saw that, okay, price broke the previous higher high that was created. Price broke the previous higher high that was created. Now, as price broke the previous higher high that was created, what are you expecting? We are expecting that price will create a new higher high at this point. After creating the new higher high, we want to see price coming down to form what? The higher low before what? Pushing to the upside. Now, we now proceed towards the 4-hourly time frame. I'm just showing you easy steps on how to carry out analysis with anything, or after going through the YouTube videos. Now, on the 4-hourly time frame, you can see we have a lot of candles and plenty price actions, right? Now, moving forward, after highlighting your break of market structure, we talked about the concept of liquidity also, and you would note that, okay, price has actually taken out what? price has actually taken out a form of liquidity at this point. We have price taking out what? This low here. And if you go through the market structure, which is the algo structure we talked about, you would understand that this is what? This is more of like what? Points A, B, and C, and D. And price taking out the point C before continuing is what? Is movement, as I've explained to each and every one of you. So we actually mark out what? Our demand zone here, that okay, this is the place that price came into to tap into before what? Continuing his movement to the upside. Now, coming to this side, we would actually be focusing more on the present price action. If you are an intraday trader, a scalper, or you just want to make trades in that particular day without extending or waiting for a long period, what should you do? You focus on the most present what? Price action. Now, focusing here, how would we be able to what? To read this price action? Now, some people, when they see, or some traders, when they see this particular action, some would prefer to what? To stay out, and some would want to what? To get a trade from here. So from here, you see that we don't have much candles, and we won't be able to interpret much at this point. Then what do we have to do? We go to a more lower time frame where we'll have a lot of data or information. Now, coming to this point, what would you notice? What would you notice? Everything you notice here is that we have another structure forming at this point. You can see we have series of higher highs, higher lows, the higher highs, the higher lows, if we have a move to the upside. Now, if we want to buy, following the concepts of liquidity or the algo structure that I actually taught most of you here, I said we would have price doing what? We would have price sweeping of what? Liquidity and breaking of structure. Now, when we have price sweep liquidity and break structure, we say price has created or has created what? A strong high or low. Now, when price swept liquidity and broke structure to the upside at this point, we literally say what? We have a strong low. Now, which is what? We now tend to look for what? Our order block at this point, which is what? The whole of this point. What did I call an order block? I said the last push down before what? The push up, which is what? The bullish order block. And this is what we have here. Now, if you proceed to the 2 hours time frame, you'd actually see that the order block is actually showing here, like very, very valid at this point. So if you want to take our trades, considering the rules I give or the concepts of an order block, I said a valid order block must have what? A fair value gap before it. We need to see a fair value gap, a break of structure, and some other conferences I told you about with an order block, and we have them here. Now, if you go to a smaller time frame, I said an order block needs to have what? Needs to have an inducement presented before it. Now, this particular point we are picking, does it have an inducement? Yes, it does. It does, because we literally have what here? We have points A, B, C, and I said our point C is always what? A trap. So we can literally pick this point as our what? Inducement. We can pick this point as our inducement, and we wait patiently for price to what? To come down below, something of this nature, and what? Tap into this and what? Continue its movement to the upside. And that is just an easy way to carry out our analysis. Now, you don't need to what? To come to this point and start jumping into trades. You don't need to start jumping into trades, because at this point we know that okay, after price has taken out what? I talked about different types of liquidity. I said we have transactional liquidity, we have order flow liquidity, we have inducement liquidity, and we have structural liquidity. Now, I said something about transactional liquidity, which is what? More of like your previous high or an higher high or an lower low, whatever. I said when we have an higher high here, it's known as what? Transactional liquidity. And now when price takes out transactional liquidity, what do we expect? We expect that when price takes it out, we want to see what? A correction towards to the downside before we have what? A push to the upside. And now look at what happened here. We have the TLQ taken out already. TLQ simply means transactional liquidity. Now, price has taken out the transactional liquidity at this point. So what do we expect? We expect price to what? To retrace to the downside. But now price took out this point. Look at what happened. Price took it out to the upside. Look at it. Price already dropped to the what? To the downside. A very fast movement to the downside. But now price has not really completed its intention. You might still see price coming down below to take this and what? Push to the upside. Always remember, anytime price takes out what? TLQ, which is transactional liquidity. For the transaction to be complete, price needs to what? To correct itself downward before what? Projecting back towards its direction. So for now, we are what? We are bullish on what? On Bitcoin. Everything happening right now on Bitcoin is what? Is bullish. Except we have what? A bearish fundamentals tomorrow on the ETF, and if it's negative, we can see a decline in the price of Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin, if you check GBP USD, which is the pair I actually trade, just the pair I trade, you will see I was explaining something the other time, so I had to like have all these markups on my screen, a top-down analysis of GBP USD. Now, looking at GBP USD, what can you see? You can see that all the price action here is what? Is bullish. Everything here is what? Is bullish. Now, currently, you see that price is trying to what? To correct itself. Why is price trying to what? To drop. Why is price trying to drop? Because I said when price takes out what? A transactional liquidity or TLQ, we tend to what? To see a decline. And now look at this. We have already price taking out this transactional liquidity, and we already have the algo structure form, which is the what? Points A, B, C, and what? And D. And I also explained different scenarios of the algo structure. Now, what are we expecting on GBP USD? We are expecting that price will come out or come back to take out this point C, which is what? The trap, before what? Continuing to the upside, which is we want to actually see something of this nature. Price coming into this point before pushing to the what? To the upside. And that is very, very simple scenario on GBP USD. So you can see that when carry out an analysis, we don't really need much. You don't really need much. Most of most of the times when you actually know much, or when you actually have much at your disposal,